Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about the second Richmond race for the Trucks and the Cup Series, and oh boy do we have a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, let's first about next week's schedule race, which is at Michigan for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, including the Arcanard Series, but I will not be covering that. So we'll just only focus on the Xfinity and the Cup Series, and yes, this is now a new UI thing. So first, start up with the Xfinity Series on Friday, August 16th at 3:30 p.m. will be practice, and at 4:10 p.m. will be qualifying for the Xfinity Series. Both of them will be streaming on NBC Sports. Now Saturday, August 17th at 3:30 p.m. will be the Xfinity Series race for the running of the Cabo Wabo 250. That'll be on USA, streaming on NBC Sports, MRN, and SiriusXM. And then for the Cup Series on Saturday, August 17th, 12:30 to 5 p.m. and 1:20 p.m. will be practice qualifying for the Cup Series. Both of them will be on USA, streaming on NBC Sports, MRN, and SiriusXM. Then on Sunday, August 18th at 2:30 p.m. will then be the Cup Series race for the running of the Firekeepers Casino 400. That'll be on USA, streaming on NBC Sports, MRN, and SiriusXM. Let's now have a look now at the Truck Series results. And the winner of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Richmond is Ty Majeski, followed by Christian Eckes, Taylor Gray, Grant Finger, Elaine Riggs, Tyler Ankrum, Ben Rhodes, Daniel Dyer, Ty Dillon, and Connor Hall ran out the top 10, followed by Stephen Parsons, Tanner Gray, Joe Garcia, Caden Honeycutt, and Matt Crafton ran out the top 15. Not a lot of stuff really happened in this race other than a multi-car wreck in turn 4. Dean Thompson, maybe one of the most unluckiest drivers in the Truck Series as of right now, got turned around, and I think Matt Crafton, that was a big driver that was part of it, and I think maybe Thad Walford as well. I'm pretty sure it was a part of it as well. But yeah, it was it was an alright race. I'll be honest, it was. But on the final stage, it was beginning to look like a bit of an ARCA moment, but luckily it did settle down a bit. We did have a late caution for Connor Zilic, I believe, I'm pretty sure, who got spun out by Brent Holmes, I believe, so that was something there, but other than that, I mean, it was an alright race, and this was also the final race as well for the regular season for the Truck Series, which we will be talking about the playoffs picture pretty soon, but let's just say my predictions are incredibly wrong. But Ty Majeski getting another win is great. I think this is now his second win of the season, so it's a good showing there. Considering that Eckes and High both of them have just taken over wins in this season, it's good that we have someone else there. But man, it was Grant Finger close of winning that. I mean, I think he led the most laps, 98 laps in this race as well. So he was definitely the truck to beat. It was just unlucky with that timely caution and pit stops and all galore stuff. But let's now have a look now at the other finishers outside of the top 15. Corey Heim finishes down in 16th after just he pitted pretty early compared to everyone else, I believe, and with Roger Cruz and kind of paid the punishment there. William Sawalish, who really struggled. I mean, he led a couple laps and started 5th place and then finishes down in 22nd. Connor Zilic, like I mentioned beforehand, had an incident, pretty sure got spun out by Brent Holmes. Nick Sanchez with a clutch problem. Connor Jones with electrical issues. Dean Thompson, Thad Moffat, all of them, and Keith McGee were part of the accident. Matt Mills, in part of another accident himself. And down in last place was Jeremy Bowman, who basically retired because he was too slow. And one driver as well failed to qualify, that being Trey Hutchins. Let's have a look now at the Truck Series standings. For the Truck Series standings, Corey Heim is now in the lead as the Truck Series playoffs have now started, followed by Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Roger Cruz, Grant Finger, Tyler Ankrum, Taylor Gray, Ben Rhodes, and Daniel Dye is your final driver who is in to the playoffs. Yes, Tanner Gray, who was in the top 10 for the majority of the season, is now out. Followed by Stuart Friesen. Matt Crafton, for the first time in his career, will not be contending for a championship or even in the playoffs ever since its introduction in 2016, I believe. Chase Purdy in 14th, and Lane Riggs has now entered into the top 15. So there's your playoff field: top 10, Heim, Eckes, Majeski, Sanchez, Caruth, Enfinger, Ankrum, Taylor Gray, Rhodes, and Daniel Dye. Let's now have a look now at the Cup Series results. And the winner of the NASCAR Cup Series at Richmond is Austin Dillon. I don't know, how about that? My god, the 32nd driver getting a win. Followed by Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Chris Bell, Kyle Larson, Carson Hocevar, Chase Elliott, and Dennis Suarez ran out of the top 10. Followed by Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Josh Berry, and Michael McDowell ran out of the top 15. Well, before we get into the actual, big storyline in this race, I guess I want to talk about a positive, the prime and options. Now, this was the first race with the prime and option tires, and my god, was it a massive success. The options were very, very good, I think, which is the red wars, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's the prime, I might be wrong. I think actually that is the prime, I can't remember right now. But either way, it was amazing. There was a lot of strategy involved. I was also listening to the MRN radio, which was basically impossible because it was just so bad. Like, there were just commercial breaks for some reason, and they were talking again. Then in the middle of it, there would be just a bunch of voices. I don't know. But either way, from what I could try and gather from the MRN radio station, it was a massive success. I mean, Suarez started 15th or 16th, I'm pretty sure, one race up, was on the prime tires, and moved his way up to the lead. Michael McDowell, who was last at some point on the same race as Suarez, got up inside of the top 10, and obviously tire wear became a massive factor. It was amazing. It was amazing strategy, so that's definitely a positive. But as long as obviously there was some massive, there were some great moments, definitely some strategy involved, but it had to end with maybe one of the most controversial finishes in a while in NASCAR, that being Austin Dillon wrecking not only one, but two drivers of Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin at coming to turn 4 and exiting out turn 4. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, Dillon, he came out from Narnia and basically punted Logano out of the way, and then just side-swiped Hamlin into the outside wall, basically right hooking him, which obviously is basically a written rule, or I should say non-written rule. I'm not doing that. I don't know how. I mean, to be fair, let's say this. To be fair to Austin Dillon, he was looking like a top 5 contender, so he was automatically either going to be a winner or inside of the top 5. However, that is something you just don't do as a race car driver. That is something you would do in Gran Turismo or Forza lobbies. You don't do that in real life. However, though, we kind of do have to blame the playoff system, because of the you win you in system is quite shit, and I would rather have the playoff system like they did like 2011, maybe that time period where it was called the Chase, obviously because of Sprint Cup, and it was what was the top 25 or the top 20 drivers were eligible to actually win. So if you were inside of the top 20, you could have a possible chance of actually making it to the playoffs. Yes, it might maybe make it a bit more confusing, maybe just to casual fans, but at least we don't have to have these situations of where a 32nd driver coming into this race, a 32nd place driver wins a race, locks himself into the playoffs, and basically turns the playoff system upside down. So I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. I won't be surprised if Dillon does get a penalty. If it is a disqualification, or most likely will be an incumbent win, yeah, that would be massive, and that means Denny Hamlin will get the win, his third win of the season. Which, I'll be honest, I would rather have Denny Hamlin win than Austin Dillon, just because that Austin Dillon, when was the last time that he's actually had a proper race win? Maybe you could say Texas. Maybe you can say the Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600. But 3 out of 7 or 5 race wins that he's gotten has been wrecking someone. And in this fact, he wrecked 2 of them. So yeah, it's not a good sign for Dylan. Yeah, I mean, he's not really a popular guy in the garage area either way for fans, and with him doing that, yes, Logano and Hamlin, who are maybe the most hated NASCAR drivers that we have right now in this field, but you do have to feel for both. I mean, hell, they were going for the win, and yeah, some rich kid ass who has a silver spoon stuck up his ass basically just punts both of them out of the way. So yeah, it's definitely a line that he crossed. I'll be very interested to see what the penalty is going to be for Dylan, and even as well for Logano, who basically will lead you to burn out right in front of Dylan's pit box with his family and stuff, which is obviously a massive no-no, but I can understand his frustration, because hell, he got wrecked for the win, but same time, Logano has done that many times in his career. But the difference here is that he didn't really come from well, I guess you can maybe say the Byron one of Darlington, he kind of came from Narnia, but at least he didn't like fully turned him around. But to be fair, it is Joe Logano, so I'm not really surprised about that whatsoever. But let's have a look now at the other pictures outside of top 15. There's Joe Logano down in 19th place after being wrecked on the final lap. He did score some good points, so, but it did also come out with a bit of a dud on his end. Who else? I mean, Ryan Preece, he got dumped by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., which basically caused this whole mess. That's really about it. It just called the basic cause are just him just dumping Preece. So I don't know what Stenhouse was doing, or Ricky Spinhouse, I should probably say. No one really else I can really talk about. Alex Bowman, he was nowhere. Then finished down at 28th. My god. Parker Retzlaff in his first Cup Series start finishes in 35th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. retired because of after that bonehead incident with Ryan Preece. And the other retirement was Martin Truex Jr. with an engine problem. Let's now have a look at the Cup Series standings. So this is what the standings now looks like after Richmond, but those do expect possibly these standings to change. Kyle Larson in the lead, followed by Tyler Reddick, 5 points back. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Alex Bowman ran out the top 10. Followed by Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, and Joe Logano ran out top 15. The biggest mover was definitely Bubba Wallace, who moves up 3 spots, basically leapfrogging Logano, Chastain, and Buescher. While the biggest losers were Truex, Byron, and Elliott, all of them going down 2 spots. What a way for NASCAR to come back after the 2-week or 3-week break that they had because of the Olympics. So just a reminder, the next week's schedule race which will be at Michigan for Cup, Xfinity, and the ARCA Menard Series. So now guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me, especially on this channel. Let me know what you think about the whole last lap situation with Austin Dillon. Do you think he'll be penalized? Do you think he'll be disqualified as well from his win? We just have to wait and see what NASCAR does. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.